Today we are doing an extreme makeover on our guest room space. It's definitely one of those sort of ignored spaces in many homes. I know in our rental home, our last house, I always sort of ended up putting the decor and furniture that were rejected from other rooms' designs into the guest room. And I've never really put a lot of intentional deep thought and resources into creating a beautiful guest space. Not to say that I haven't had a nice space for people to come visit us. And honestly, we have a fair amount of visitors. We have a lot of family and friends who live in neighboring cities. It's definitely a space that gets used. We also have the holidays coming up. Doesn't it feel like the holidays are always coming up? Welcome to our tiny little guest room. It's pretty boring at the moment. We've got an IKEA dresser, a few Target lamps, IKEA side tables, zero architectural or visual interest in the space, plain old white bedding, no headboard, thrifted art. The one thing we have going for us is the beautiful Roman shades on the two semi-awkwardly placed windows. And did I mention how awkward it is to invite guests to sleep facing themselves in a mirror all night? That is just too much, you guys. We have got to do something about this. There's so many different things that I plan to do in this space. Let's go through the very quick overview. First, I wanted to create some visual interest, so we're going to be adding in beadboard. I wanted to do it like chair rail height, but I honestly thought that felt a little low to me. Chair rail height's generally around 36, 32 inches, somewhere in that zone. For me, that felt a little low. I wanted it to feel taller, especially since at this point, I still don't have a headboard for this room. Adding this a bit taller beadboard and then trim at chair rail higher than chair rail height is going to create a headboard-like feeling in that room, add a lot of visual texture. It's going to be a really exciting color. I'm so excited. We're also going to get rid of the green paint color, so I have to prime the walls, paint the top portion and the ceiling one color, and then the chair rail below, beadboard and all that, baseboards are going to be a different color. I got a new rug for the space, adding in some very exciting bedding. I've got some great, awesome vintage finds. I've been combing the shops around town in Seattle for some beautiful things, artwork, accessories, a little bit of history and uniqueness. I've got my work cut out for me. It's a little late in the day here on day one, but we're gonna get into the wood shop. I've procured all of the decor, all of the new items, except for one thing on OfferUp that this gal just has not gotten back to me on. You better watch till the end of this video to see if she gets back to me, because I cannot believe I just found this on OfferUp. It's gonna totally make the space. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
You drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment.
Welcome to my morning cutting station. I am having so much fun in here. This is the miter saw. If you watched my last design video where I built the DIY bathroom storage cabinet, I used it, and this is the table for it. This is something you can buy. Some people make them just out of scrap wood. I actually really love this one from Ryobi. It's fabulous. It has all these little joints where it tightens and loosens, and then you can stretch it way out on each side. So when you're cutting these super long boards like I'm doing with the beadboard, so easy. I originally planned to sit and measure out the exact inches for each one of these panels, and I was sitting down setting up shop last night to mark them all with my pencil when I realized this is a massive waste of my time. This table for the miter saw kind of does that for you. I measured and cut the first one And then I laid it out, stretched this out to the exact distance that I need it for, lock it in place so everything's like set to not move. And then all I need to do every single time is just put the board in the track, line it up, and boom, my cut will be perfect. No measuring. That alone is worth the money to me. So I'll link this and all the tools that I'm using down below. And if you're looking to do this project, I just love tools and they are so much fun. This table might be my new favorite tool accessory. I have about 1 million of these beadboard boards to cut before we get ready to install them and paint and everything. So I think it's just about time to crank the Taylor Swift and get it done.
Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. This is a mistake, I know about tomorrow. I don't wanna fight no more, cause I don't feel the need no more, no. Just wanna make it stop. Maybe it's something in the water, or maybe we just hit the end of the road. Right now it doesn't even matter, it's too late not to let it go. And that's why I wish you the best and say goodbye. You start to get dressed and then we cry, cause we both know it's gonna hurt, but not as much as this does. We had a good run, don't say we didn't. I was your first love, and you were my first one. Chisel all the memories, the venom and the remedies, yeah. Promise I won't forget, yeah. Maybe it's something in the water, yeah. Or maybe we just
Next, we're going to be marking where the studs are in the room by putting painter's tape down. I'm going to measure exactly the center of the wall. So 130 and a half, 65 and a quarter would be about here. Double check with the stud finder that that's where the center stud is. Looks like there's a stud exactly right there. Then we'll start the beadboard from center as well. Truth be told, I hate finding studs. I don't know why. Maybe I just have anxiety around getting it wrong or something, but Travis helped me and found where the studs were. A couple tips if you're feeling like me and a little stuck on this. Maybe you could knock on the wall and you can't hear the difference like me. Let me kind of show you what Travis told me. He said there's always 2 studs on the side of a window, usually your door frame. 16 inches is the typical distance, so you can see the first one on this wall is right on 16 inches. Then we have 32. This one's out of sequence because it's matching up with the window, and then they continue spacing out from there. Some things are taking a little longer. You know, we're opening up walls in our vintage home. We found some broken drywall, especially around the door. I did a little bit of patch and repair. It's messy. I filled in as much as I could, just cutting out pieces of broken drywall. And then I put in some very skinny wood boards that I had in my wood stash pile. Honestly, most of it's going to be behind the new casing trim, which I can't wait to put up. It is time to get rid of these messy projects and onto the fun stuff. Well, it's time to put up the first baseboard extension. That's right, I said extension. One of the big decisions I made in this room was to build off of the existing baseboards rather than ripping them out and replacing them entirely. Just was thinking about the beadboard. I needed that trim that had the little groove in it that would perfectly case the beadboard, and I found these little packs that had the bottom and top in a style that I like, very simple yet traditional, adding a little bit more curvy texture to the wall treatment. The existing baseboards are 3.5 inches tall. The extension is 2.5, so it's going to be a full 6-inch tall around the room. Caulking gun with liquid nails, heavy duty baseboards, as clean as it can get them. I'm just going to do kind of a wiggly line, then we'll go back to it with some nails. I am going to float it just slightly from the corner. Liquid nails is always a little stinky, but it does the job. I'm actually avoiding that corner because there's electrical right here. Luckily, my stud finder lets me know, so I'm avoiding that whole area with the nail gun and only going to put it My first plan of attack is always to put up as many full boards as I can. After that, making sure that I put every single piece that I put in, no matter where the transition point is, at a 45-degree angle. That way, whatever I cut's gonna perfectly fit and then be easy to fill and not leave a ridge down the middle. What we're doing is we're working our way from the bottom, the existing baseboards, and adding all the layers as we go up. I have some really incredible news. The gal from Facebook Marketplace got back to me about the end tables. I tried to talk her down, but she wasn't going for it, and I just decided I love them too much. I look for too long, and they are too good of a deal. Made a quibble about like 20 bucks. So I'm gonna drive up north to the burbs to pick it up. She's gonna let me know when she gets off work. And I'm so excited to see them against the new wall treatment. I think it's all gonna come together, you guys. And they're just like a little bit French. It's the vibe I'm loving. Don't mind the sound of the fan, it is very hot in here. It's like 81 degrees. Putting in the last couple pieces. I'm no expert on baseboards, you guys. I adjusted this piece. It's now the perfect size. Always make sure it fits beforehand. Liquid nails in the caulk gun. I just do like a little wiggly line. It's like Elmer's wet glue for adults. Here we go. We're just gonna very carefully sneak it in there. And the nice thing about the liquid nails is they're not like cement sticky right off the bat. It does give you a couple seconds to adjust and make sure it feels like it's matching up. And just put a couple nails in to secure it while that liquid nails is setting. Looks like we're just about done with baseboards other than caulking. Oh, I got one more piece to put in. If you are having a problem where you just have a teeny tiny miscut, where it's just like a tiniest little half inch like I have here, think about possibly shoving that into a non-dominant corner, or maybe in an area where you know it's going to be behind furniture. I had kind of both situations, so I opted for the corner. It definitely fit a little bit better. So you can see my application. Now we're going to see if our tiny piece will fit inside. It should. Liquid nails here on the back. Tiniest little bead. Sneak it in there. I'll go ahead and put a nail right here where the seam is, just to hold this in place since we're still figuring out the placement. This little nail in there just to make sure it stays secure. That was definitely a little bit more of a problem child than I was anticipating. That little corner is driving me crazy. Ooh, I just need to put another nail on the top, I think, on the other side, and then it'll match up. Alright, I think I'm going to do that all the way around the room and then move on to beadboard installation. A lot more liquid nails. The baseboard extension is just about complete, and you guys, this has taken a lot longer than I thought. I definitely lost some, confidence. I don't know, I guess I just was doing the math and the measuring and measuring again and just trying to make sure I was getting it right and lining it up, but it's really not that hard. I think it's just tedious. You guys, I've just picked up the nightstands, and aren't they so cute? They're pottery barn originally. They definitely have a little bit of wear and tear, but I really don't mind. I kind of like their rustic nature. They're a pretty creamy color. I think it'll go great with the paint color we picked. A little tiny drawer, a little deeper drawer. They're in fantastic condition, solid wood, perfection. Got back a little while ago with the treasures from Facebook Marketplace. I'm so happy with the tables that we found. The gal that I bought them from could not have been nicer. Raced home, got the last of the cuts done. I look exhausted because I am exhausted. Had a quick dinner. Travis made me a quick bite. He also fixed the brad nailer. I'm just gonna keep it going and put up the beadboard. More coffee, please.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal.
After many difficulties with the brad nailer, Travis was kind enough to run down with my Home Depot gift cards and grab me a new one because we just could not get that thing working consistently, and I only have most of the main wall put up. I've been waiting on this for a while. In the meantime, I have primed and painted the top of the walls and the ceiling in the beautiful color Benjamin Moore Fossil. I loved it on the card, and I absolutely loved it from the second I put the first little brush stroke on the ceiling. It's a beautiful color. So if you're looking for a warm neutral, a warm white, kind of an antique white, this is a beautiful color. I already feel like this space feels larger and fresh. I cannot wait to get the rest of the paneling up. The French press color on the bottom half, it's going to completely change everything, and I am living for that moment right now. I am supposed to go see the Barbie movie with some friends. I just put out a quick SOS text asking if tomorrow might work. Just in case you're wondering why I'm asking to reschedule. I got a little bit going on at the moment in the guest room. And I just had to buy a new brad nailer. I'm gonna get this brad nailer going, get the rest of the wall paneling up, and cross my fingers for a little reschedule with my friends tonight. I know I started laying beadboard, but I have learned a lot going around this room, and I'm still learning as I continue. I've got this wall left, and then one panel on that wall that I have to cut around an outlet. I'm currently cutting around this. It was a little tricky at first. I made a little bit of an error measuring, but luckily my multi-tool has honestly been the best tool for this. I thought I was going to use the jigsaw, honestly, because that's what all the tutorials say, but I feel like just for these little teeny cuts, like look at this one. I'm just cutting out this little teeny rectangle corner of this. It's really easier to hold it in place in the room and then use the little blade in the kit that I bought for the multi-tool. It's just got a little straight boop boop and then you're good. So I went ahead and measured this board around the side of the vent here. You can see I've already made a couple cuts. I've marked it on the board itself. Now I'm just going to very carefully notch that out, see if we fit. All right, I think we're finally done with this outlet. I did find a tiny little piece in my scrap pile that was the exact size I needed. So I just put a little bit of liquid nails in there and popped it in, and that should give me at least a base to do all of the caulking around it, and that'll just disappear if you can believe it or not. Hopefully then this guy should fit right back in there. But we do need to get a spacer so that there's enough space for the plastic cover to go over the top. And of course, I'm going to paint that plastic cover the same color as the beadboard so that it hides it. Oh, the chaos of home renovation. Chaos. Chaos. Oh, don't forget the chaos over here. And up here. So I wanted to put a shelf here at the top of the heightened chair rail. I've been trying to figure out how to do it because I didn't really want to have any kind of support underneath because I wanted the trim to be uninterrupted. And then I had the thought, why don't I just build it in as an extension to the existing windowsill, and then I can add more trim to it and make it just like a thicker shelf. Like 1x2 trim and continue to trim it out, but look how pretty. And then it'll create like a little lip here. So let me show you how I did this. It's so simple. These are 3/4 inch by 4 inch boards. You can get them at any hardware store. They're primed and ready to paint. You use the existing shelf to anchor the new shelf. It would be something to screw into. I ended up adding one 70-inch, one 62-inch, almost halfway between. I just wanted to make sure, since the window's off center, that the bit larger board on this side would be more supportive. 3/4 inch distance between the trim and the existing. Oh my gosh, we're so close on the length. Looks like I need to take it up to the wood shop and trim it just in here. I'll be right back. All right, freshly trimmed. Let's hope it fits this time. You guys, I got it. I got it in there. It did not need to be trimmed again. I just had to fiddle with it, and honestly, it looks pretty stinking great. I'm really happy. The problem I was facing, which you might have also, is a lot of quirky things, including walls that are not square. I was able to push the shelf up as far as possible and then gently tap it in. So have patience. These tasks are tough. The house is a bit of a shambles with all of the guest room stuff and tables we need to sell. But look, I'm thrilled to report that after 2 pretty solid days of work, all of the woodwork, at least for now, is done. I do have a couple of other trim things I want to do on this wall. So I think that's going to be a separate video. We're going to do trim around the door, trim around this. I have a whole DIY plan for this closet door. And then we're going to trim out the 2 windows. For now, we're just going to keep it to painting the new woodwork. It looks so good. It's going to look so much better in the new color. Speaking of... really bold, but still bright in here. Oh my gosh, this color is amazing. It's just like chocolatey coffee brown. It's French pressed by Benjamin Moore, and I'm in love with it. It still catches the light. I'm very excited to see what it looks like during the daytime. After an extremely long and busy night, I can officially say the painting is done. And you guys, look how amazing the new nightstand looks in front of it. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I built this.
From my window, sun's coming up like the day before.